Can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear warning. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait to need a hit. Baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it.
Live at the crime scene where a body was found dead, identified as Rowan Marcojos. She was shot dead here in Ulas Crossing, Davao City. The investigation is still ongoing. This is Thea de la Peña, Ganga, and this report.
Inside me, son of a god, I'm like a titan that's rising, oh just you watch. I'm stepping into fate, there is no time to waste. I've got that lightning inside me, this is how legends are made. This is how legends are made.
So we have in here the evidences for Marcojos case.
Yes, Detective.
This evidence was found at the crime scene. The analytical chemistry identified that this soil has mercury on it.
These fingerprints were found at the doorknob of the crime scene, in which it was identified through the help of green fluorescent light, in which it was also applied to adjust the selectivity, sensitivity, and contrast.
The wine at the crime scene was found with this kind of drugs. And this has pronidol and caffeine, which these substances are harmful for the living organisms, especially when it is intaked internally.
The forensic scientists that studied chemistry used DNA profile.
DNA profiles? Let's get into that.
To support what I said, they use DNA profile to determine criminals or to determine parentage. A DNA profile is like a genetic fingerprint. Every person has a unique DNA profile, which is very useful for identifying criminals.
This blood was collected in the crime scene as an evidence. As you can see, this blood was scattered in the crime scene, in which, in fact, if this crime happened recently, the blood would not be dark as this one. So, I therefore conclude that Marcojos' case happened a day ago.
This knife with frost on it was collected at the crime scene, where, as you can see, there is a chemical change happening on the blade of the knife. So theoretically, it could contribute why the victim has died. Because if the rust will enter on the open wound, it could cause irritation, infection, or even tetanus, and that is deadly.
Identify the criminal's state of mind and if there is an intention of killing. Identify intoxication accidents by doing breathalyzer tests by blowing a tube that has solution of chemicals inside, which are containing sulfuric acid, potassium dichromate, water, and silver nitrate. The color of the substance will change from orange to green because of oxidation. The reason the criminal kills people is due to the ecstasy intake. It is chemically similar to stimulants and hallucinogens. MDMA is commonly called ecstasy or molly. People who use MDMA typically take it as a capsule or tablet. Thus, this gives the criminal hallucination and kills the victim. The compound is 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine, or MDMA, is a synthetic drug that alters mood and perception.
The fundamentals of investigation and intelligence applies chemistry, especially to the forensic science. Criminal investigations require the scene of the crime operatives and law enforcement find evidence and identify different substances to analyze victimology.